Yes, people, hope you're well. We are back with another one. The UFC might be going to the White House in 2026. UFC 318's card has been confirmed, and I have a little theory on who Aspinall's next opponent could be. Sit back, relax. Let's get into it. Yes, people, I hope you're well. Welcome back to the show. It is Combat Catch Up Live with the legends Luke, Tanner, and Jamie Phillips. And we are on the road to 8K. So please subscribe if you haven't already and smash that like button. Also, subscribe to Luke and Jamie's channels. Links are in the description. Guys, how are you both doing? Difficult week.
You mean Stipe? You mean Stipe?
Jesus Christ. At least I can remember what happened last
hang on. You mean Stipe?
Jamie, blood.
Jay, Jesus Christ. Jay, man.
It's got CTE, man.
What are you doing, Jay, man?
I'm not gonna lie, we actually haven't heard any. I knew this would happen when Stipe retired, but we actually haven't heard a peep out of him. Like the UFC haven't even done anything to kind of like celebrate his career or anything.
I've heard he wears a bib when he eats. Sort of.
Blood. How you doing, Luke? Jay.
Yeah, not
He's
bad.
the maddest person I know. He's actually the maddest person I know. I grew up in Thornton Heath. Like,
no, I'm feeling all right. I've had a difficult couple of weeks. Obviously, what's happened, I had a funeral literally a week before. So it's been a mad couple of weeks, man.
It has indeed, unfortunately. It has indeed. Hopefully things get better as we progress. Got a couple things to talk about.
I'm doing well, Cal. Thank you.
No. Yeah, you tapped out, bro. You've gone clear. Like you've gone clear. I do want to start with you with this one though, Jay, because the UFC are rumored to be going to the White House based on what Donald Trump said in 2026. Exactly. That's inevitably piqued the interest of Conor McGregor, who has tweeted out a picture of him facing off with Michael Chandler outside the White House, and also John Jones saying that he likes the idea of that as well.
Sorry, I don't. Sorry, not anymore.
What's your
thoughts, buddy? We don't need you no more. No, we don't need you no more. Not having it, man.
I don't think
we don't need you. We don't need you.
I don't think this thing is as like it's as great as it sounds. What's your thoughts on it, Jay? Because you do like a story, and this is a story.
It's a story. It's a pile of shit. For starters, to have the pay-per-view they would want to on the look of the garden of the White House, they would have to spend so much money to put the fighters up, getting nothing back, because what you have in attendance about 200 people.
Yeah.
Apparently they want to do something like 25,000 people.
How though?
How? Because the president lives there. He's under security.
I don't know,
you got, because the problem is you're going to have to vet everybody that comes in.
I'm going to find out.
Because it's literally where the president lives, man.
Isn't Dana against doing outdoor events?
Yeah, he is, unless it's, for his best man. I just don't see how it works. If they do it, it'd be a fight night. It wouldn't be a pay-per-view. It'd literally be a fight night. And also, secondly, they've got no American fighters.
No, none that are champions. There's no American champions.
Well, no male champions. You've got Kayla Harrison at the moment.
Yeah. I've got a thing for Kayla Harrison. I'll go tell you that about later. But
that is so random. I'm not gonna lie.
Think about that jawline, man. It does it for me.
Share the screen. Share the screen. That was the announcement. So I wasn't joking.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
25. How are they?
They can't vet it. So you're
What,
telling me
they're not going to be standing as well? Like,
do you know how many? Do you know how many? There's going to all be standing, and do you know how many CIA and operatives they'd have to employ that night?
yeah, not
It's
just
the
that.
president of the United States lives there. He will be in attendance.
What are they going to do? Like build a pop-up tent or something like that as well? Well, like is Zippo's coming to town? Is it the circus? Like, because
it would be the most watched UFC of all time, in my opinion, though.
Yeah.
No, it would be. But you're right, though, Jay. In terms of gate, would it? I mean, it might.
How do you? What's the price for standing up on someone's back garden? No, I'm being honest here. What's the price? Because it's not an arena. You're not getting into an arena. You're literally walking into someone's front garden.
Get food and drink and merch. Where are you going to sell all that?
How much a ticket's got to be to sit in someone's garden?
And by the way,
it won't work.
I genuinely think it would be hand-selected people they would invite to the event as well. It's not going to be like we people like us won't be able to get tickets. Well, we can't get tickets in the best of times.
It won't be the common fan.
It won't be the common fan. It will be people who are extremely wealthy, whether we know them or we don't. But it's not going to be us. It's not going to be common fan.
I personally think it should be on top of the White House.
Theo said Eddie Hearn did host a fight in his house, but that was COVID, so it's completely different.
Yeah.
There was 10 people there, weren't there?
There's 10 people there, but I have to say, there is more chance.
At least with the burnabout, you can cover the roof over. You can't. How do you do that?
And it's Washington. Washington's it's not Washington the state that's on the edge of California. It's a place just below New York, I believe, on the eastern seaboard, ain't it? So weather-wise, it can't be trusted, can it?
Yeah, remember when we said that we should keep politics out of sport? Yeah, that went a long time ago. Yeah, and there's more chance of the Epstein list being properly released than this happening, because this is just an ego.
That list will never get released, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So this ain't happening. This is an ego thing. This is like Donald going, Dana, I want to have an event, great event. John Jones fighting at the White House. Come on, Connor.
I think it's going to happen.
Like,
I think it'll happen, but it'll be a fight night.
A logistical nightmare. Like, talk about the cost of,
Dana don't care. Remember, Dana's only sticking around so he can say, I was the one that did this. Remember, he was the one that took the UFC to the Sphere. He'll be the one that takes UFC to White House. For him, it's a look how big my pocket is, basically.
There's a fucking bucket list.
Thing is, but this is Trump's idea. This has got nothing to do with.
Oh yeah, but come on, Jay.
I reckon Dana definitely would have.
But the problem is, do you know the traffic around there is a nightmare?
Yeah,
Anyway, how'd they go do that?
Like, it makes no sense, and like, benefit who? What, Trump? Like, Trump turns up
it's
to
a
the
250th anniversary, isn't it, of their independence?
I couldn't give a hoot. Don't care. It's not great for the fan. I got fucking John Jones, Mr. I've retired. He fell back in the testing pool. Sorry, buddy. We don't need you no more, mate. We're good. We don't need you no more.
But you do know the reason why Jones didn't take the Aspinall fights because he has no tape on him. That's the reason why he didn't take the fight.
Yeah,
cool.
But if Aspinall, we'll speak about Aspinall later in the show. But if Aspinall fight and goes 3 rounds, I reckon John will take the fight because he knows the money's there. Especially if Aspinall wins. The problem is if Aspinall loses, Jones to get it. There's no point.
I don't think. I think Jones is just trolling. That's what he does, man. He ain't in no testing pool.
Yeah, fuck him. He's retired. Stay retired.
By 2026, July the 4th, 2026. Yeah. By the way, is July the 4th a weekend? Next year.
It should be, yeah, because the 4th was a Friday this year.
So it will be a Saturday, which they fight on, right? How many American world champions we go by 2026?
What, male?
Yeah, or female? Is it just going to be Kyla Harrison if she beats Thingy? Is that it?
Do you know what, Jay? Now you said that, let's bring up the rankings and let's see who's there.
I just don't know who's going to be an American champion by 2026.
No, not flyweight.
Because you can't do a Brazilian main event at the White House, can you?
So,
no
one from flyweight.
You always got to make it America versus the world.
Possibly
where America gets destroyed.
They could do, yeah.
Possibly. Featherweight. It's looking
All right,
very slim.
let me share screen. And then we can go
I've got the
through
rankings up
Let's
here.
face it.
It's not looking good.
Ilias Gabi a champion of whatever weight he's Gabi in 2026. So that's one.
So
Pantoja's still going to be champion until he dies. Let's face it.
yeah, no one American winning
Trust
Pantoja.
me, yeah. Bilal Muhammad, even if he is champion, wouldn't be touching that White House?
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't go there.
The political thing.
Right, Sanhagen, I do think he actually has a chance against.
Slim chance, but it's a chance.
Yeah, I think he's got a chance. At 45, no one. 55, no one. 70. Sean Brady has an outside chance.
Maybe Kamaru Noni's Usman.
Oh,
Sean Brady. Yeah, but the thing is, if
Usman's counted as Nigerian, he's not really.
No, but if Thingy beats Jack Delameda, he's going to be champion, isn't he?
Oh shit!
Makachev, yeah, and then he's not gonna. Yeah, he definitely won't.
There's gonna be him and Rachmanov next after
that. 85. No, Strickland's not getting the title.
Hey, Trump would love that.
Crazy. At 205, no one. Heavyweight is just John Jones, and that's if he comes back. Apart from him, Curtis, but I don't see Curtis Blades getting a title shot anytime soon.
Yeah, do you know what I think? I think this makes the UFC look like a circus if they do it.
Even the idea being like floated around, and I would say even us talking about it, TNT Sport picking it up. I'm sure other MMA YouTubers have picked it up. The fact that we're even talking about it, like it feels.
It's gonna happen.
Like you can't even fill out a fucking arena at the moment for numbered pay-per-views, and you want to take the shit to the White House? Are you taking the piss out the fans?
Shout out to Sino. This is what it would be though. This is all about. Remember, in the same way that Vince, when he was in his last few years at WWE, was about his ego. Right now, the UFC is there to cater for Dana White and his friends. It's not for us. It's not for us. Let's be real. Because if it was for us, we would have got the Aspinall Jones fight. We'd have got the Ngannou Jones fight. We'd have got Makachev and Topuria. We'd have got so many fights. It's not here for us anymore. UFC isn't for the average fan now. It's to satisfy the wants and needs of Dana White and his friends.
And influencer friends.
Exactly. But this is a take. Remember, the UFC at one stage was seen as an illegal sport. They got taken off cable. The events got changed at the last minute from open hand strikes from closed strikes to open hand strikes. They going from that to fighting at the White House would be unprecedented. And look, as much as
it will make it look illegal still.
You think so?
Yeah, because it looks like backyard wrestling, don't it? Like backyard fighting.
It does,
yeah.
It looks like backyard fighting.
Poshest of backyard wrestling.
But if you've got Donald Trump introducing it and all these things, then...
I remember when WCW had Bash the Beach on the actual beach.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember. I vaguely remember
in 1994, and they had everyone from Baywatch. Yeah, they had a steel cage match. Yeah. And they had everyone from Baywatch involved, yeah. But it's on a beach. You can't stop people coming onto a beach, right? You can't, right? You know. So there was like 12 people there around there. It looked shit. I just don't know how. Like 25,000 people on the lawn of the White House. It probably can fit that, but you've got to look at the logistics. You've got to look at the logistics involved. The CIA will have to be there. The Secret Service, because they're looking after Trump. He's their number one priority.
Hey, Trump got shot at a bloody rally.
Yeah. With more people than that there.
Yeah.
And they still didn't stop that. I can't see it happening. I can see it happening, but I think it'll be a fight night. And it won't be a pay-per-view. It'll be a fight night.
Well, people, let us know in the comment section. Do you think the UFC goes to the White House? Yes or no? Right. On to the next topic, guys. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the UFC 318 card has been confirmed. Jamie, your reaction is going to be priceless to this. I just hope you don't get us. I'm not even thinking about getting demonetized. I'm hoping.
I mentioned fucking Jeffrey Epstein, so this is definitely not getting.
Yeah. I'm more worried about our livelihood now because I can see Jay's reaction potentially to this card, and it's not going to be pretty. So
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Shall I pull it up? Shall I get?
Yeah, I got it now.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so Jay, kicking off the card will be Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. Then it's going to be Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. Then Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez at welterweight. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. And then the main event, obviously, Max versus Dustin. Dana said this is a badass card. I think he should just stopped at bad. And again, when we say this, we're not trying to disrespect fighters. We're not trying to disrespect any of the athletes here. But we are fans ultimately at the end of the day. And look, none of us are fighters either. So we're not going to sit here and be like, oh, this person's that, this person's this.
My.
But this is meant to be a pay-per-view. This is meant to not just a pay-per-view. This is meant to be Dustin Poirier's retirement fight in his hometown. And this is the card the UFC put together. I'm sorry. It ain't good enough.
Jay, I'll let you cook, my friend. Cook.
Right, work could be here.
The fact that Jamie's stuttering means it's going to be an absolute madness now.
Right. We just watched Pitbull, yeah, and his last fight looked old, right?
Yeah.
He did take it on short notice, so that's the end defense.
Yeah. I mean, he looked 50.
True.
Daniel, who's he?
Danny
Michael
Gage.
Johnson.
He literally fought against.
He fought Lopez on the same day, Joe.
Do you know the only fight I want to see is Kopylov versus Costa?
And is Costa going to make the fight?
And that's if Costa makes it, because I think that actually be an entertaining fight. The main event, as much as I
swear I've seen that before. I'll double
check. Probably. Look, I love the main event because I love both fighters, yeah. But I don't want to see it.
Can I just say something? The week after, you have
the fight night's better.
You have got the Ridder versus Whitaker, and you've got Evloev on a fight. You've got flipping Evloev on a fight night versus Aaron Pico.
Co-main event.
What the hell?
Yeah,
how is Aaron Pico and Evloev not on this card?
Yeah, this card. Right. Do you know what we're lucky about here in the UK is, yeah? Unless it's usually a Conor fight, we don't have to pay for UFC pay-per-views. Yeah, it's part of our TNT subscription. Yeah, if you're in America and you're getting told this is costing you $65,
you're not buying it.
And then you see the fight night for free the following week with that card. Look. This is what I hate about UFC right now. They've put Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. Right, because they know it'll be a stand-up war. It'll be brutal because, there's not a lot of technique in that fight. It's just barroom fighting.
Shout out to everyone in the chat, Jay.
Costs $80.
It's $80, bro.
But that main event, right? I don't think it's going to be as good as everyone thinks it's going to be. Yeah,
neither do I.
Because I don't think Dustin wants to go out on his back. Do you know what I mean?
Two unks. Just swinging in a bar.
Sorry, Jay and Luke. Sorry to cut you again. How much do you think $80 is in British pounds?
65 quid.
£72.
It's £60.
£60.
£60.
Guys, with all due respect, are you paying £60 for that card?
And
no, but I'm not paying for any UFC card at 60 quid.
No, there are some. I'll be honest, Jay. UFC
$300. Yeah, special occasion cards like that. Yeah,
300. I'd pay £60.
But most of the time, so hang on. What's 12 free? What's 1260? What's 60 times 12?
60 times 12 is
that's our yearly cost.
No, it's not. 60 times 12 is 3 times 12 is why is my math doing
get a fucking calculator out?
960. Is it 960?
So it's just under £1,000, yeah, for pay-per-views out of our own money. If we had to buy every UFC event in 12 months, with the cards that we get,
£720. Sorry, big up to Liam.
£720 of your hard-earned money for these cards. Would you pay it? Like seriously, you'd have to pick and choose, wouldn't you? You'd have to pick and choose.
And do you not realize that Dana, when he does his press conferences now, he doesn't come out and say the pay-per-view stats. He never says pay-per-view. He only mentions gate. And it sounds amazing. But when your ticket prices are so high and when the merch costs so much and all these things,
Yeah,
when
gonna
you even
be
can't
expensive.
sell out
Well,
an arena no more.
it's TKO or whatever, because in WWE they were in Scotland last year. They sold it out by 11,500 people. They were sold out arena here in Scotland. Yeah, it was the highest arena take in WWE history, but there's only 11,500 people there.
That's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? It sold more than some previous WrestleManias for stadiums.
And this is partly the issue with the lack of competition. Like, obviously, Jay, I don't know wrestling like you do, but I'm guessing AEW isn't doing very well at the moment, right?
Well, no, they're in smaller arenas, ain't they?
So there's no competition. There's nothing that makes the WWE go, we might have to drop these prices and all.
No,
this.
they don't drop the prices, but they do counteract their programming, like this weekend. So yeah, AEW got All In Texas, which is going to be their biggest North American crowd since they've become a company over 6 years. So I think they're expected to do about 23 to 24,000 people, which is a massive crowd. Yeah. Usually the only wrestling company gets that is WWE, but most of the time, you know, their TV shows are in front of about 1,500 to 2,000 people at the moment, just because the downturn in viewership. So no one's buying tickets, but this is their WrestleMania, so they're going to sell out. But they counteract their programming, you know, in a very bitchy way, to be honest. But UFC do the same thing; they counteract programming. It's what they do. It's what these massive companies do. They take over everything, and then they give you shit, and you watch it because you're idiots, and that's what we are. Do you know what I mean? Because you know we're not fans, we're customers. That's what we are, and you know that pay-per-view is a travesty. We are in 2025 of UFC, yeah. Over 30 years now of mixed martial arts, going through all the courts, going through legalization, eventually getting to New York. You know, all this stuff. It's shown in all 50 states there in America. They can go wherever they want, all around the world. Massive products. And we're getting cards like that in 2025. There's some super fight cards in UFC 5 that are better than that. And I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not. It's just...
It's disappointing. And not just that.
Awful.
For Poirier's last fight, you should be packing that card out. Can you think back to how many amazing fights Poirier's had and how many times he stepped up for the company? The least you can do is put him on a card whereby you just give him the best chance. Yeah, just give him the best chance.
Do you know the fight you wanted? The fight you wanted was Ilya Topuria. And the UFC went, nah.
I don't blame the UFC for that.
No, they don't want to. You know, do you remember when they didn't like Nate Diaz anymore? Okay.
They tried to put him in with Kamayev. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to see Topuria versus Poirier.
No, like, and do you know why they're doing this card? Because they're probably paying Dustin and Max a lot of money, pay-per-view points wise. And if they're paying them a lot of money for pay-per-view points because it's his last fight, they can't put a good card on because they don't care. They literally don't care. They think the main event will carry it through. They literally think everyone's going to turn up for this main event. Yeah, everyone's going to turn up for this main. It don't matter what the undercard is.
Do you know what the sad thing is? That Cristiano Ronaldo's new contract per year in Saudi is more than the entire UFC roster.
Yeah, it's mad, don't it?
Oh boy, I don't know, man. Obviously, I know we're gonna watch the card and everything, but it's just it could end up being a great. It could end up being a great card.
It could be one of them sleeper cards, yeah. It could be a sleeper card, right? Where everything these
the really sleeper fight is the first one on the main card.
Yeah,
we had a banger in the sphere. Michael Johnson always puts on the scrap. So
and Michael Johnson so far past his best now, though.
Yeah,
no, can run it back.
If Costa does turn up for the fight, that could be a good one. And the main event, I don't see Max and Dustin just throwing down like they have done previously.
I think it depends on Dustin. If Dustin goes in there and just says, "I'm going to have,"
how much does Dustin want it though? Do you want it? Do you want to go out with serious damage?
He doesn't want to be the first person to have 2 trilogies and be 0-3.
That'd be crazy, yeah.
So Max needs the sort of.
Well, Max is extremely overrated.
And Dustin will be Jay, chill. Dustin will be the first person to challenge for the BMF title twice as well.
Did you see what Ilya said about Max?
I did. I wasn't too happy about it.
And he was correct, man.
I'm not
Barroom
gonna
fighting,
argue
man.
with you. I'm not
Barroom
gonna
fighting.
argue.
Barroom fighting, man. Barroom fighting.
Hey,
Can I
bro,
ask you guys a
like
question?
fighting in the bar.
But it's exciting, I ain't gonna lie. It's fucking
Yeah,
exciting.
oh, yeah.
Do you think the BMF title gets retired after this fight?
Yes, I hope so.
Should
I
never
hope so.
existed in the first place.
See, all right,
needs
I'm a
to-
bit of a sucker. This is why I'm a sucker for the UFC because I was alright at the gimmick. You see, when Ilya beat Max, I can't now say he's the BMF now because it's not like Ilya went in there and wrestled him and held him down for 5 rounds.
I swear Ilya put the belt over his shoulder when he left.
He did, but that's Ilya though, isn't it? That's Ilya just doing Ilya things.
So in my eyes, in your eyes, and everyone else's eyes, he's the BMF champion.
Well, all right, let's look at the lineage of the BMF. Masvidal beats Nate Diaz, so Masvidal's the BMF. Who beat Masvidal?
The original, ain't he?
Yeah, who beat Masvidal? Usman knocked him out.
Yeah.
So
But
again,
they never gave it to Usman, did they?
they never gave it to Usman. So technically, Usman was then the.
And then
Don't
it
it have-
was Leon.
But don't
And
it have
then
to be a
Leon knocked
BMF? Don't they have to actually say this is for the BMF title, though?
They do, yeah. So, but I'm talking about in terms of lineage.
Yeah.
So technically, it would have been Usman. And again, we're not. It's not like a Colby who's just going to take you down for 5 rounds. You could make that argument and be like, well, you're not a BMF because all you're doing is wrestling. Now, Usman actually knocked Masvidal out. And I'm saying that as a Masvidal guy. He knocked him out cold. Usman, for me, is then the BMF. Leon then knocks out Usman cold. So technically, he should be the BMF.
Yeah, whoever
But
gets
then-
knocked out, yeah, something.
But then the BMF gets cancelled because Masvidal says he's retiring. They bring it back for Gaethje and Dustin. Cool. Gaethje wins that fight. Then Max knocks him out. But then Max gets KO'd by Ilya. So you've got 2 lineal champions. And you're not going to like the first one. The first lineal champion at 170 pounds of the BMF.
JDM, ain't it?
It was Bilal. Now it's JDM.
Yeah.
At 155, it's Max currently. But if Max, well, no, technically it's Ilya. It is Ilya.
See, I wouldn't mind the BMF title, right? I actually wouldn't mind every weight
You've
class
got to
having
put
a
it on the
BMF
line. You've got
title.
to be on the line every time you fight. Then
I'd rather have a BMF title than a interim champion, right?
yeah,
And it gives other people something to fight for.
Silver.
Yeah, it gives you something else to fight for. Like, it's entertaining to watch. It gives you a bit of story. Like, so they're not going for the world title just yet, but this is more. They're going for that BMF title. They're going for the baddest motherfucker around. You know, that's what they're That's what they're fighting for. And it gives you, props are good, man. Sometimes props work, and it gives the viewer a bit of intrigue. Like, oh, okay, I'm interested in this.
Have they? Is it been worn out now? Is this gimmick
Worn out because they fucking used it terribly? Yes.
Yeah.
When people are getting knocked out but don't leave with the belt, you're like, what are we doing?
Unless you just wouldn't it just be better than to have a BMF division then?
I'd love a
Between
BMF
55
division.
It's called
between
the
the
Legends
range
division.
of 55 and 70.
Love a BMF division, man.
Call it the old Unks division or something like that.
No, because you are like, all right. So off the top of my head, I'm thinking, all right, for 70 pounds, you've got Kevin Holland, who I'd consider him a BMF. Like Kevin Holland fights anyone at any time.
All these sort of like good fighters, but probably never go win a world title.
Where's a prime Cerrone when you need them, man?
Put them in that sort of like. So, hang on, is Max Poirier for the BMF title?
Yeah.
See, but that's not on the. But go back to the fighting thing. That's not on the.
It's on there.
Does it say it? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Can't see from.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Our BMF title bout. See, right. So if they're acknowledging, right, UFC are acknowledging that the BMF title is a legitimate title in their company, right? Use it. Use it in every weight division. Why not?
Yeah, true. But the problem is, Jay, the last visual we have of Max is Max out on the floor because Ilya's hammer fisting him.
Yeah.
No pause.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just.
It's not. This isn't like the reason this fight sells is because they're two fan
People
favorites.
just see them scrap before, yeah.
Yeah, and the love that they've got from the fans, and plus we know they throw down when they get in there as well. But I just think they delegitimized the belt. Like,
and I think BMFs can only be win by knockout as well.
Yeah, like, but
that's the rule. You can only become BMF champion if you knock someone out. I don't see this shitty tapping crap or points decision. Yeah, legitimate knockouts. That's the only way you win a BMF title.
Or and if it goes to decision, it has to be like a fight of the year contender or something. It has
Yeah,
to be a
but
proper
think of like you get more stand-up wars. So look, I know people like wrestling. I like wrestling. Yeah, if you're having good wrestling, it can be very exciting. Yeah, but let's face it, most of the time the wrestling UFC right now is boring as shit. Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, because they don't do anything.
Yeah.
You get more exciting fights. Yeah, go right the BMF title, but you can only win that belt if you knock your opponent out. You know, if you tap them out or it's a points decision, the champion keeps the title. You get a challenger to maybe, you know, and you put more prize money in that BMF title than a normal fight, and it gives the other fighter a challenge for it, a bit of more encouragement, and it gives the fans a bit more encouragement to watch. Because if you're a fan and you're like, oh, BMF titles on the line tonight, you know that can only be won if it's a knockout. You're ready. You get your chicken wings and your beer, and you're sitting there like, this is going to be a slugfest. I can't wait for this because you can only win by knocking out. Gives the viewing public more interest in what you're doing as a company. But yeah, I could run UFC tomorrow, man.
It feels like anyone could at the moment.
Fight nights would be on YouTube for free, and you know, I'd make BMFs in every division by knockout only.
Just on a side note with that. Do you think if UFC moves over to Netflix, where they won't, in my opinion, be bound by the amount of events they've got to do like they have with ESPN, do you think then we'll see a better caliber of cards because they'll be putting on less cards per year out of necessity so they can actually hone in and make some very good cards?
What happened with the other like 600 plus fights you got on the roster?
That's for them to deal with.
I see what I would do. I would create another organization within my organization.
What? Go on. That's Dana's Contender Series, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's a Dana White thing. It's not really a.
Are we talking about a UFC NXT?
Yeah, basically, right? A different promotion. Yeah. So you know, we've got it. The roster's bloated. We know this, yeah. And there's a lot of fighters that a lot of people don't know about. Yeah. You put them in a version of NXT, right? That's their thing that they fight in, right? And Netflix carries that. And then you have to win and get better in that and gain points or something through wins and all that. And eventually that gets to a fight night.
Yeah.
And then fight nights then eventually get you to pay-per-views. So you could see a guy you like or a lady you like, right, fighting. And you're following their career, yeah. You're getting to know them. They're gaining points through fights and stuff like that and fame. Then they move to fight nights where you go, oh, I'm intrigued, so I'm going to watch them on fight night now. And then you eventually get in the pay-per-view and it makes them a bigger star. And then all the big stars that Netflix wants, because I'm telling you right now, Netflix don't want people they've never heard of, fighting on cards, right? They want the big stars, yeah. And then all the big stars can stay on Netflix, which means you won't have a bloated roster on pay-per-views and you'll get better pay-per-views every single month because of it. I don't know. Maybe it's just a shout.
I like the idea. I'm very intrigued to see what happens.
Again, I could run you.
Right. I've got a little theory.
Oh, guys. Good shout by Liam as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a point. Yeah,
double night events.
Yeah,
double night events.
Yeah, that's a shout. All right, Luke, I'm gonna come to you first on this one, but I have a little theory for both of you. I think that everyone thinks that Tom's first fight is going to be Cyril Gane. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's one of two people. I think it's either going to be Jayton Almeida or Alex Pereira. And the reason I say that, Jayton Almeida has now moved up to number 5 in the division. And obviously, we've not heard any news about Ankalaev rematching Pereira at light heavy. I don't think the UFC wants Cyril Gane to have that fight because the last fight Cyril Gane had wasn't convincing. And also, it damages the product if Tom gets into a fight with Cyril Gane and doesn't beat him in the first round. Because all people do is, oh, he's not the real champion, Jones. Again, we know MMA math doesn't work, but the casual fan will turn around and go, oh, Jones beat him in a minute and a half. Aspinall just had a 5-round war with this person.
I was
Jones
gonna
would have
say,
wiped the
what?
floor of
What?
Aspinall.
Map logic.
Yeah.
I love Matt. I just had to.
Do you think it's Almeida or Pereira, or do you think I'm just clutching at straws?
I think you're clutching at straws with Pereira.
I know who it's going to be.
I think it will be Almeida. I want something fresh, man. I want something fresh. I want someone that actually deserves a shot. Cyril don't deserve shit. He's had 2 goes. He's had 2 goes at the belt. He's missed twice. Yo, Matt's in the comments.
Like,
he's got the Calvin trait.
Like John Henry.
It's all love, Matt. It's all love.
Like Joe Henry, ain't it? Would you say his name? If Matt starts doing this on camera on Coffee Stand.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it should be Cyril. Like Cyril needs a convincing win. Matt, we can talk about it tomorrow, mate. On our watch song. I can get cooked tomorrow. I just had to add it in there. But Cyril needs a convincing win. And plus, he's had 2 shots at the belt. He's had 2 goes.
Yeah. I know it's going to be.
Does he deserve another one? No.
I know it's going to be.
It should be Almeida.
He's saying, Joe.
He's already fought him. It's going to be Alexander Volkov.
You think it'd be Volkov?
Because Dana owes him a favour.
It could be. I didn't actually think of that. It could be.
He's number 2 ranked in the world at the moment. So if you're not going to fight Cyril Gane,
I did see that the UFC has just
off the back of a loss, though, Jay.
Well, everyone's going to lose, don't they? All lose, really.
Yeah. Talison Teixeira fighting Derek Lewis this weekend. That could be a big pivotal fight.
Yeah.
I
think Volkov
could put him in the top 10. And if he gets a good win against Lewis,
the way
the division is, he's a fight away from fighting for the belt.
Aspinall,
this is
Gabby Aspinall's first defense of the title.
Yeah.
He needs to fight either number 1 or number 2 ranked in the division in his first defense.
I'm trying to think. The UFC signed a heavyweight. They literally signed like a 1 FC heavyweight champion, 5-1. He's going to fight Marvin.
And as Joel said, we all know Volkov beat Gane, which makes him number 1 contender.
Yeah, we know. I also saw Volkov get smoked by Tom Aspinall in London.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Cyril Gane's got a chance. Look, Dana White was fuming with the Volk Gane thing, and he went up to him. We all heard it. You won that fight, right?
Yeah.
Which would make him number 1 ranking. The only reason he's not number 1 in the rankings right now is because he didn't officially beat Cyril Gane in that fight. Yeah, so they can't really make him number 1. But he would be number 1 ranked. That's your first defense. Simple as that.
Yeah.
It could be Alexander Volkov because UFC might be planning a way of getting him fighting 2 more times before, like quite quickly.
He wants to fight 4 times in 12 months. So
Volkov would make sense then if you want to keep him rolling.
Yeah.
There's no one in there. No one.
I think Talison Teixeira, he's undefeated at the moment. If he comes through against Derek Lewis and does it in impressive fashion, and he's able to, let's say, for example, he beats Derek Lewis, he becomes number 9 ranked in the division. You could throw him in with someone like a Sergey Pavlovich, who's at number 3. If he beats Pavlovich, he'd be the next in line because you could go, right, he's undefeated, he's taller than Tom, rangier than Tom, hits hard, knocks people out. That's your new person to go up against Tom.
See, I think they'd want to build that for a while.
I don't think they're in a position to build anything in the heavyweight division, bro. They got to strike with the irons hot now. They've lost to Jones and Aspinall fight. We've seen all the others pretty much, apart from Gane. And even though I think Aspinall beats Gane, I don't think he does it easy.
The thing is, if you're Volkov, who do you fight? Because he's going to want a title fight because nothing would make sense for him.
I hear that. Do you know what I'd actually do? So if it was up to me right now, I'd actually book Jayton Almeida versus Tom Aspinall for the belt. I know he's ranked number 5, but I'd go Almeida. Then I would go Curtis Blades versus Cyril Gane, because we need to see him in with a wrestler to see if his takedown defense has got any better. Then I would do
no, Cal, it's just not.
No, I know it hasn't. But then I give Volkov Waldo, and I know that kind of leaves. Who does that leave out in the cold? Everyone in the top five can be sorted then, because Aspinall versus Jerton Almeida. Then you've got Blades versus Gane. Then you got Volk. So the person who'd be left out is Pavlovich.
Yeah, which is unfortunate for him because he's probably the second best fighter in that.
Yeah, match up Pavlovich with
ranking
Teixeira. If Teixeira wins, match up Pavlovich with Teixeira.
I think the problem with if I'm Aspinall, I am not fighting Talison Teixeira in my first defense. It wouldn't make sense.
No, but I don't think it would be though. Talison Teixeira would have to fight one other person. So if he beats Derek Lewis, then you give him Pavlovich. If he beats Pavlovich, then he's next.
Yeah, but that means you're waiting almost another year for him to fight Aspinall.
Maybe, but Aspinall's going to keep busy.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you just go Volkov first, and then you get to that fight. Then like he can fight who you're saying. Aspinall fights Volkov. They both win their fight, and then that's the next fight everyone wants to see.
Matt is so shameless. It's unreal.
Looking at the Duck. Well, apparently the Duck wants to be the hunter rather than the hunted. He's back in the gym, but we don't need you, buddy. Are you Duck, man? Are you Duck? Ducky, quack, quack.
Division's looking light without Jones.
It's just the exact same because he wasn't fighting.
He's dead with or without him.
Interesting.
Right. There was no Tom Aspinall. Fucking Jones would be fighting regularly or wiping this division out.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll be honest. Maybe it was a blessing. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Jones held up the division because Aspinall would have run through all these guys by now. We're sitting there going, "What the hell is next?"
I think Aspinall loses his first defense.
That's crazy. If that happens,
and on that bombshell, that's it.
That'd be insane. Right. Last topic, guys, and this is a tricky one for me because he's not covered himself in glory recently. Leon Edwards says he wants to return in October or November.
Oh, I don't care. He's annoying me.
Why so far away? When was his last fight?
His last fight would have been in March, I think, wasn't it? Against Brady, right?
What, the UFC need Jones more than Jones need the UFC, hence the money.
It's probably true.
Offered.
Probably true, to be fair.
Come on, Matt. It's not that.
UFC London 2025. Yeah, it was March.
I don't care. I mean,
what are you doing? Buckley, what are you doing?
Who's he get a fight in October? Buckley.
I'll be honest. I don't want to see Edwards in with Buckley.
Well, he's got to fight someone of that caliber, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, we need
to. Be real. Here's the thing.
I'd give him Usman 3. That'd be the fight, mate.
No, they fought 3 times already.
Oh, they fought 3 times.
I'm not having the 4th.
Yeah. Do you know what? I totally forgot they fought years back before.
Yeah. Got Michael Morales 8. If Edwards versus Michael Morales, Edwards is getting cooked.
I'll give Makachev to Edwards.
All right. So looking at the division,
because I think Makachev's going to lose to JDM.
Well,
so Edwards is ranked number 4. Do you run it back with Bilal then? Do you run it back with Bilal?
I would rather eat my own shit. I'm not lying here. I would shit in a cup and eat it rather than watch that fight. You know, I'll do 2 girls, 1 cup on my own. You know what I mean? I'll do Jamie 1 cup. I would rather do that.
But who else did he fight? I mean, I don't know.
So it ain't going to be Bilal. It's not going to be a Brady. Shavkat's basically saying, I'm sitting waiting for a title shot because other fights aren't important to me.
But
don't see Ethan 4.
Jamie in 1 cup is crazy, by the way. I never thought
Jamie 1 cup is a madness. So that rules out the top 5. You're not going to run Bilal back, not going to run Brady back. Shavkat really wants title shot.
He should fight his own brother.
What?
Baby,
Yeah, bring his brother over from Bellator. Save him from there.
Fight his own brother.
For me, it's going to be out of Gary, Morales, or Buckley. Not going to fight Colby. Not going to fight Byrne. Not going to fight Wonderboy.
The Ian Gary fight has always been there. We've always spoke about it.
Yeah, but Gary's not going to fight.
Ian Gary's calling out champs now, isn't he?
It does nothing for Gary to beat Edwards now. MVP is the only one I think of, but you can't. If you do Leon versus MVP,
counter striker versus counter striker now.
No, but I'm saying if you do that outside of England, you're crazy.
MVP's got a fight with the two, man.
Yeah, he's got a fight.
Again. Who's he fighting again?
He's fighting at 185, isn't he?
I know he is. Yeah.
I thought you moved back down. Didn't you move back down?
As you do.
No, he hasn't. It is at 85. I'm just.
He's going to get sacrificed to Michael Morales.
He's fighting Cannonier.
Yo.
Yeah, right. I forgot it was that fight.
Oh, he better be
on a quality fight. That's how you quality fight. You know what? I'll just get Edwards versus Connor here. I'll fight this Leon fella here.
If he beats Cannonier, he jumps into the top 7 of that division.
Do you know the only fight I can see Edwards having is Buckley. Is Buckley. That is the only fight.
I think this version of Buckley hurts him really bad.
My mum hurts him. I ain't been lying here, man.
That's what I'm saying. I know you don't like the idea of it, Jay. I think a fight that could potentially be winnable for Leon is Bilal.
Oh my god!
No, man, no.
He's not going to fight too low in the rankings. Yeah, and who else can Bilal fight? Who else can Bilal fight right now?
I'll tell you what. I know he's got a fight coming up, right? But after that,
Bilal versus Kamaru.
I'll just give him
Kamaru, man.
If you want a stand-up fight, just give him Wonderboy.
No, I don't want to see that. They've fought before, haven't they?
I wouldn't. Yeah. No, they haven't. I wouldn't be surprised if Wonderboy retires after his next fight.
Wonderboy Edwards.
Leon Edwards versus Michael Morales.
Yeah, it could be that.
Undefeated Colombian.
Do you know what Edwards should do? He should retire.
I was going to say, it's this kind of looking bleak for Edwards. His next fight is going to be make or break.
Yeah, plus Bunhead. Yeah, plus Bunhead was anyway. He's annoyed me today with his comments.
Yeah, I don't know why he said that.
You deal with no foolishness. But
do you know what I want to say just on that?
Edwards is so missionary. He's unreal, man.
That
is what he is, man. Edwards. You know Leon Edwards only does missionary, right? That is it. He is so plain and boring, man. He says, "I'm on top." That is it. Nothing else is happening.
Out of a Roman Reigns promo, by the way.
Yeah, that is all it is, man. That is all it is, man. She's like, "Can we go doggy?" Like, no. Just get on your back. That is it.
Why is because the reason why Luke's saying what he's saying about Edwards is because obviously he says that Jones is the GOAT. Why is MMA
his actual comment?
No, he said he thinks that Jones beats Aspinall. Prime Jones beats Aspinall, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, I think he does, to be fair.
All right, here's the issue I have with this GOAT stuff with Jones. One, I don't believe it, but here's the issue I have with it. MMA is the only sport whereby, even though you've been proven to be a cheat, that people still call you the GOAT. Ben Johnson in athletics, if I'm not mistaken, ran the fastest time of all time, if I'm not mistaken. But he was drugged up to the gills. Everyone unanimously says Usain Bolt is the greatest sprinter of all time. Why? He did it clean. Boxing, never heard of Ali taking drugs. Never heard of Tyson doing steroids or anything.
Which he did now.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. You've got even Floyd. We don't like Floyd as a person, right? But Floyd never got done for steroids or anything like that. He can be called a GOAT.
Yeah.
Any sport, football, Messi, Ronaldo, never been done for steroids or anything. Why is it in MMA?
Messi got injected with steroids in his legs.
Yeah. So they say. Why is MMA the only sport whereby we go, okay, yeah, we know Jones cheated, but he's still the GOAT? Is that not just a backwards way of thinking? If that's the case, how does MMA move forward as a proper sport?
I think you can be the GOAT of your sport by even just being there a couple of years, depending how you've taken the sport over, right?
Yeah.
So a clean Conor McGregor is more of a GOAT than John Jones's whole career because he transcended the sport and became a celebrity.
And a 2-weight champion as well.
And also, if you look at pay-per-view buys, 8 out of the 10 biggest pay-per-views of all time for UFC, Conor is 8 of them. Yeah. And the other one is
also
Brock.
you look at Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse was finishing people for fun.
Yeah. But he's never going to get it because they don't think his weight class sells.
Yeah.
But John Jones has never been a pay-per-view drawer either.
He hasn't. His 2 biggest fights were Chael Sonnen and DC.
Plus, the reason that annoyed me about their twisting is not because he said that Prime Jones beats Aspinall. He said that Jones ain't ducking Aspinall. And that's why I was like, bun him.
And Aspinall meant to be his mate.
Yeah, so
well, guess what? Yeah, don't get into a gym with Dom again, man, because Dom's going to fucking cook you. Going to tap you out.
I mean,
I don't get how
Prime John against Aspinall is a conversation, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. But here's the thing. Prime John never moved up in weight and fought Prime Kane, for example.
No, he'd get destroyed.
Exactly. So it's like, again, Jones is, in my opinion, Jones is the most talented MMA fighter I've seen in my life, like naturally gifted. I can never call him a GOAT, though, because he's cheated.
Yeah, but you can be like Roger Federer is arguably the most talented tennis player of all time, yeah. But a lot of people are now talking about Nadal and Djokovic as the tennis players. They've won more than him now. But if you ask Nadal and Djokovic, I think Djokovic said it the other day anyway, who's the most talented tennis player of all time, they'll all say Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Right? But it doesn't mean he's the GOAT. Like
Rafa with no injuries because they compared their Grand Slams. Like Djokovic's top, he missed like 3. He's like, Nadal won 22, but he missed 18.
Yeah, he could have like 40, but his talent for me is nowhere near Roger Federer's, is it? I mean, it's just. But
Federer and Nadal remind me of Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah.
Nadal's that workhorse, whereas Messi and
then like every time they do an event, Murray's there like, hello, I'm far.
Murray, do you know what? Murray in any other era would have been a problem. He just ended up in the era with those guys.
And he won Grand Slams in that era.
I was going to say, we can't even take it away from Murray, because Murray did his thing, and he was riddled with injuries.
Nadal's the GOAT, right? And I would go along with that, right?
Yeah, I've got Djokovic as the GOAT.
But I'd always say no one is more talented than Roger Federer.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. And this is the thing. John Jones might be the most talented MMA fighter of all time. I've got no problem with saying that. For me, it's not the GOAT, though. For me, people go hate this. Conor McGregor's the GOAT of MMA and always will be.
Oh, no. I can't.
And the reason it is, he transcended the sport. He was the first 2-weight world champion in UFC history.
Well, simultaneous.
Yeah, simultaneously. He transitioned the whole sport. You know, my dad, right, don't know a thing about MMA or UFC. He actually doesn't like it. He thinks it's just violent, right? But he knows who Conor McGregor is, right? It's like Hulk Hogan might be always the GOAT of wrestling, yeah? He's not the best wrestler ever, right? There's hundreds of wrestlers better than Hulk Hogan, yeah? But he transcended the sport, right? You ask a non-wrestling fan to name you a wrestler of the past, they're all going to say Hulk Hogan, yeah? Because he transcends into sport.
It's four, isn't it? It's Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, The Rock, and Cena.
But none of them are the best of what they do. Do you know what I mean? They're not the most.
Stone Cold and The Rock. I mean,
but
Stone Cold.
You got wrestlers today who are better and all them physically in the ring, but they don't transcend the sport like they did. So the way I look at GOATs in sport is how they transcend the sport that they're in. And as I said, the 10 biggest pay-per-view buys in UFC history, when people actually legitimately everyone had to spend money to watch them, 8 of them is Conor McGregor. And I watched something the other day. I don't know if you saw it. It came up on UFC's timeline on YouTube. Do you remember when he weighed in and there was 15,000 people sold out for a weigh-in at MSG?
Yeah.
15,000 people just for a weigh-in. They can't get that for an event now.
Yeah, it's true.
So for me, he transcends sport, and he's not the best fighter of all time.
Whoa! What's
It
this?
would be his Sam in it. Hi guys.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT because he fought tin cans for he went to come to.
Do you know what?
Please.
I think we need to do a GOAT show, guys. We need to organize a GOAT show.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna like the answer.
No, but I want to try and do it in a way where I set boundaries and different categories and have a point system, and that way we can almost do it as fair as possible and just determine who the GOAT is based off a point system. So
Like
things like transcending the sport, promo, fighting in the cage, finishing ability, pay-per-view, all those things. And we might be surprised with the answer we get, but at least it's fair then, isn't it?
Well, like for the female, do you know who my female GOAT is? Gina Carano.
Gina Carano is a shout.
She transcended female MMA. Ronda even says it. She's the reason.
Yeah, she's the pioneer.
She's the pioneer, so she's the GOAT.
It's like I can't have Cyborg as the GOAT because she failed drugs test.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't have her. I've got Nunes or I've got Valentino. For me, Nunes or Valentino are my GOATs when it comes to the women.
It's interesting, like, and I think that's how I look at like sport like that. Like as I said, I just look at Conor and everything he's done. Because of recency bias, you look at him now, he's just like a dick, yeah, and you know what he's doing outside the cage, and you can't call him that. But if you literally go when he was at his hottest in like 3 years, has there ever been a UFC fighter as hot as him in them 3 years?
No, Ilya might be getting close though.
Ilya don't sell tickets.
True.
He don't sell tickets.
Yeah, it's true.
He's a great fighter. You know, Ilya's a better fighter naturally than Conor is.
Shall I tell you what it is? You're right, Jay. Shall I tell you what it is with Conor though? And again, nothing taken away from Conor because Conor made his own destiny in it. But the UFC actually gave him a proper platform. They gave him the world tour with Aldo. They gave him the press conferences where they had remember they did they used to do the quarterly press conferences, bro.
Yeah, I remember
where you had all the main fights from the next 4 pay-per-views. They don't do that stuff anymore.
Do you know what? I don't think they do that anymore. Because I think they look at I literally think they look at all the numbers and how things move, yeah. And nobody moves shit.
Yeah, but they're not going to move if they're not given a platform, Jay.
I don't even think Ilya's that good on the mic.
No, he's not great, but
I think he's quite boring.
No, but he could create drama though. Remember, Conor had the press tour with Aldo. If you take away that press tour, the fight still does well, but not as well. Think of how many quotes came out of that. Conor grabbing the title, Conor saying in his face, "Vous have my hair," like all these things that they're in the same interview room, and Conor's patting him on the back of the head, and Aldo's ready to kick him off in a green room of like a ITV version of an American program. We don't get any of that stuff now.
You don't. Like I just feel like I think UFC back then just caught fire. I think UFC as well caught fire then as well and had to go with the flows.
Plus, you know what? We got to give her our flowers as well. Ronda was around at the same time. So when Ronda and Conor were there at the same time,
Ronda was the biggest female star as well.
Yes, Ronda was the biggest star full stop until Conor came around.
She was huge. You know the difference with Ronda though? People watched because they wanted to see her lose. It wasn't that she was liked.
Do you know what? I used to think that, Jay. I think some people did. My missus never missed a Ronda pay-per-view. She doesn't care for MMA. She would anytime
That's
Ronda's
good for
fighting,
women. That's good for women.
She would be like, "Wake me up when Ronda's fighting." I'd be like, "Whatever." And she's like, "No, I mean it. Wake me up." Like she, and then the moment Ronda lost, she was out of the sport again. My missus was just like, "I won't do this anymore."
No, that's a great fact though. But Leon puts there, the only criteria that matters in GOAT conversation is 1, strength of resume, and 2, how long they were champion for. I don't know about that.
Shall I tell you why I don't think the champions one is fair though? Because I don't have Stipe as my heavyweight GOAT, but he's got the most defenses. But if you look at his resume of defenses, he fought an aged JDS, an aged Overeem, and a very green Ngannou.
Yeah, and if
So
doing
even
strength
though
of
he's got the
resume,
most
John Jones
defenses,
ain't the GOAT.
you see what I'm saying? Even
Stipe don't beat any of the Pride heavyweights in his prime.
that's what I'm saying. Like Stipe against Prime Kane, I think Stipe gets washed bad.
I think he gets slept by Fedor as well.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He does.
I think a Prime Crowcott gives him a lot of trouble as well.
Yeah, agreed. So it's like I don't. And the reason I say that for me, Marab is in the conversation now with greatest bantamweight of all time, but he's only had 2 title defenses.
Yeah,
and that's not his fault.
And
look how long he had to wait for the belt.
And this is everyone's criteria. So that's Leon's criteria, and like my criteria is someone transcends the sport. Obviously they've got to be quality at what they do, because you can't transcend the sport if you're a bum, can you? So you have to be at quality at what you do, right? So I just look at it in that 3 or 4 year spell. Conor at his highest. Everyone tuning into everything, everyone following everything. Every pay-per-view was sold out. I'm telling you right now, if they did wanted to do Cowboy Stadium and sell 90,000 tickets, Conor would have done that on his own.
Yeah.
Conor would have done that on his own.
Look what him and Floyd did.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if Brock Lesnar stayed in UFC much longer and never got diverticulitis, or whatever that's called, that illness, and had like 2 foot of his colon taken out of his stomach, he might have been the heavyweight GOAT.
You potentially,
just because of the way he transcended. His star power was massive.
Saying that though, Kane was creeping up in that division.
That would have been a heck of a rivalry. A thick Brock and a thick Kane going at it constantly.
100%.
I think they would have swapped losses and defeats.
Yeah, I agree with that. Brock was a sensation. Again, no, Brock weren't clean.
No, I mean he's naturally big anyway, but then he just puts the extra on, don't he?
Yeah, Brock. I mean, I actually believe, if I'm going to be,
have you seen him? Have you seen him now?
No,
he's got long hair down to his shoulders now, right?
Oh, is it?
And he looks like a Viking god. There's not a bit of fat on him. He's just like this.
Oh, he's chiseled again.
He is chiseled beyond belief.
Yeah, he's on all this.
Full beard, hair down to his ass. No one says anything.
Yeah, he's on all this. He's on all this.
He's on all the gear, man. Give me that Brock, man. That's what I want to see on my telly. I ain't lying. I don't want to see him fighting on gear because they can kill someone. But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like you want. Look, when you're a kid, you want superheroes to look like superheroes, don't you?
Yeah, but don't you think it's crazy that people still call out Brock, still call out Conor to this day?
Because they're the biggest stars.
Exactly.
They make the most money. So the biggest stars with the most money love the GOATs, surely. Yes. Look, when WWE back in the day needed to sell tickets, who do they call?
John Cena.
Your Austins, your Rocks, your Cenas, because they need to move tickets, they need to move merchandise. Why?
The reason I say WWE is different. All right, obviously Vince had his favorites, but a lot of people had their own. Everyone had time to shine in it.
Yeah,
like this, bro. They do a press conference for UFC 318, which is going to be. They'll do that on the Wednesday, and the event's on the Saturday. Like, come on, man. Like, you could have done a 315, 316, 317, and 318 press conference. Because after that, you'll get other fighters having beefs and all that. So let's say if Holloway won, but he was going back and forth with Ilya, you could repurpose that and be like, yeah, I got him the first time, but he just beat Poirier. There's no one else in the division. Let's run it at 55 now. Let's see if I can knock him out at 55.
I so miss how they used to do things. Do you remember before fights, they used to go back like. They used to do a video thing of them in backstage shadow boxing and then Joe Rogan would be narrating over the fight and that sort of thing. You know, it gets you pumped. Now they just go right. That fight's finished. Right, go to the next one. And no fanfare, boring as shit, man. It's so stale. And the fighters of today, as I keep saying, they're all too good at what they do, so none of them are killers. So it's all too safe.
Yeah, stale
and safe, man. It's like a shit condom.
What a way to end this show. Stale condom. Oh man. What do I say to that? Jay, you got anything coming up you want to promote, bro?
I got Liverpool, my first Liverpool show since I did my Jota tribute on the day of his passing. So yeah, it's been a few days. I left it quite a bit. So yeah.
When is that? Tomorrow? Or
tomorrow
today?
at 4 o'clock. Yeah, tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Yeah, today at 4 o'clock now. Yeah, 'cause it's gone half past.
I will have a pre-record or two going out on this channel for a couple of hot takes I've got. So do let me know your thoughts on that, and we'll go from there. It's been another one. I know it sounds like we're ranting, but we just want the best of the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something we love, and it's just not good at the moment.
God knows how long, and I fell asleep at the last pay-per-view because I was shattered. But yeah,
Luke, would you have fallen asleep at a Conor pay-per-view?
you're damn fucking right. I wouldn't.
Exactly.
You're damn right. Be fucking wide awake.
Is there anything better in a Conor week?
Oh, am I here? Can you guys see me? Hear me?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
A Conor fight weeks are full game crack between.
Brock fight weeks, Ronda fight weeks, Conor fight weeks.
They're crazy.
You don't get them no more, do you? You don't
Yeah,
get them no more.
What can we say? But people, do smash that like button if you haven't. Please also make sure you subscribe to Jamie's channel and Luke's channel. Shout out to Matt as well. Go and subscribe to Matt's channel, the Matt One Show in the comments as well. Yeah, have a look out as well. Also, switch on the notification bell so you're alerted when we put out new videos as well, please, people. But that's been another Combat Catch Up Live. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Until we see you again, people. Thanks all for watching and listening. Take care, everyone.
Bye.